Thank you so much for staying with us. Now the month of June, again, like the coronavirus season, seemed to have opened the eyes of Nigerians to better and more progressive options to poverty alleviation and better productivity. So what options bring better and quicker dividends, we ask? We shall be looking at two popular opportunities on the show today with our experts.
Okay, so yes, you won't be missing out on other regular offerings. Staying healthy is at the forefront of the good life. So our fitness Dolly Phillips will be standing by to give us the the drill. And equally, Farrell Shonaga, her life lesson segment. Today, I think she's still talking about the Managing Money series, but also she'll be focusing on raising an autistic child today. So, basically, that's our run for the show. And of course, we have two guests on the show today. We'll be talking about this Japa situation in Nigeria.
All right, then, so to the main business of the day, one of which is our conversation on the Japa code or syndrome, but with a totally different flavor. To help us unpack this is a certified HR practitioner, a certified career guidance and counselor, a certified family life practitioner, an ordained pastor who is sold out totally to ensuring and helping marriages work. Clement Okafor, a happily married husband of just one woman and a proud father of 3 adorable children, joins us today on the conversation right now. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You were meant to be on Zoom. You decided to come sit with us in the studio.
Yes, I decided to give you people a surprise because I've always felt that being physically present,
very pleasant,
makes the program look more
interesting.
Than
thank you so
much. Thank you for coming.
Okay, so I think we'll just get straight to it. First of all, like in the introduction, when Helen says husband to just one wife. This is very, very, very interesting. So, first of all, we'd like to talk about, how couples and young persons in relationship on a scale of 1 to 10. What will you say? How do you describe? People say this thing and they say marital bliss and peace in a relationship. How do you describe? What do you consider marital bliss and peace in a relationship?
Well, for me, marital bliss, when you talk about marital bliss, you are talking of at least when people are happy in a marriage. People are happy, husband and wife can work together, they can take decisions together, they do things together. Not just husband and wife, where they have children, that the children are also carried along. Whether they are rich, because marital bliss doesn't mean that they are rich. There are people that are not rich, but they are happy.
True.
And there are people that are rich and they wish that they were like those poor people. Do you understand? So when we talk about bliss, it's not about the money being there, but it's about people being together, taking decisions together, agreeing, and when they disagree, they have a way of dealing with their issues, and they are generally happy. No fighting, no quarreling, no beating of wife, no beating of husband, because you also have cases where
wives beat the husband. Yes.
So that's for me. That is, when we talk about marital bliss, that's for me what is marital bliss. It's not whether you have money to travel to US or go here, go there. No. You might not have traveled to US, but you are happier than people that travel to US. I have seen a lady complained to me one time. They live in Ikoyi, big house, range, big cars. But you say, I wish I was like this other person. Wow. At least you can see your husband. You see your husband. You sit down, you talk with him. Me, each time I see my husband, it's like a privilege.
Wow.
Because the guy is not always there. But the money is there, the house is there, the comfort, you see how she drives, you say, this woman is living big. But the woman is dying inside. So you can't say that woman is having bliss in her marriage, because a lot of things are lacking. So bliss means that you are happy, your marriage is peaceful, not without issues, because in theory of war, they say the presence of peace does not mean the absence of war.
Yeah.
So there might be peace, but there might be misunderstandings, but you have the mechanism of solving your problems and living peacefully.
All right. So we've taken off on a very solid foundation, so to speak, because this is a family show, and today we're looking at the Japa Syndrome, and our attention is on when one of the spouses is really not, disposed to it. Many years ago, it was Andrew who was checking out of Nigeria.
Yeah.
It was everywhere then, in search of greener pastures. Now, what is different with what happened then and this current Japa thing? What's different?
Yes, just like as I was coming, I was equally thinking about it. And I realized that, look, it's not really that people were not, if I use the language, jackbarring.
Then
People were traveling. But then condition of living was better off here. I mean, growing up, when I was growing up in the 80s, dollar was about 1 naira. At least when I was born, dollar had not reached 1 naira. It was around 70-something kobabi per dollar. People were traveling, people were still going out, but condition of life was better here. I mean, with 1,000 naira, I remember the first vacation job I was told to do was 1,000 naira. And I couldn't even get that job of 1,000, 1 month for a vacation job. So things were okay then. It's just that people just wanted, okay, let me go abroad, Nigerian with abroad syndrome, let's go abroad and come. But people took money here, went there and spent. But now reverse is the case. Conditions of living have changed. We don't have light. We don't have nothing. It's as if nothing is working. Look at the fuel situation. We have fuel and we are suffering. These are part of the things that we are talking about. Facilities that we are supposed to be enjoying as citizens, we are not enjoying them. But when people travel out, yes, those facilities are there. You pay for them, but at least those things are there. You want light, there is light. Road, there is road. Medical, there is medical. Education, there is job. You can do 4 or 5 jobs at the same time, where at your own expense anyway. But those jobs are there. Those things are not here. So there are a lot of push factors, and there are also a lot of pull factors. Some things are pulling you from there to come. Then there are also factors here that are also pushing you to go over to. So when you look at the two of them, you will understand that now things seem to be worse than what it used to be.
So it's more survivor now.
Specifically, it's more survivor.
Then we were enjoying.
Yes,
going abroad was just enjoyment.
Let me just go. Let's go and spend our money, come back, and all that. How many people went there for school, but it was not that popular in those days. But now, the situation has changed.
Let's go to the main topic, where what happens when couples do not agree. And I asked this question from this very I've seen very realistic. So many people, especially men, don't want to, husbands that I know about, couples, when it's time to, many times the wife suggested and say, oh, let's think about our children and go, and then the man is saying, look, I'm going to go and start all over again, maybe build a business, and they do not agree. What do couples do when they both do not agree on leaving the country together?
For me, I always believe, because when I had also thought of this Japa thing at a point, but I also considered a lot of factors.
Okay, like?
For me, one, I consider my children, consider my age, do you understand? And then I considered, several other things that are very important, because one, you must, first of all, what value do you promote? You must have a value in your family that you promote, and you want to teach your children, and you want them to imbibe. Now, if you want to Japa, are you considering those values that you have? Because we are moving to a different environment that is different. What are the kind of things we are going to find in the environment that we are moving to? So those are, for me, those are some of the things that I usually, it's not about running. Anybody can run. But if you have a family like I do, if it's for a single guy, it's a different thing. You can carry your bag, run. But if you have families, you must put these other things into consideration. Does your spouse, for instance, people that are going to Canada, people that are going to places that are cold, you might have a spouse that says, look, I can't stand the cold. I can't stand the cold there. I will die. You have to consider, because marriage is about you and your partner. You want to build you want to live together. So one person is not supposed to be far away from the other. You are supposed to take decisions, implement your decisions, have children, train them together, and all that. So when you want to Japa, you must also put all those things into. It's not, like I say, it's not about making money. If you make money and you can't be alive to spend the money that you are making. What is the essence of making money? So for me, you have to look at those factors. Again, if you want to build a long-lasting marriage, you must consider your spouse, because I can't be in US or Canada. My wife is in Nigeria. And then how do we do the things that couple are supposed to be doing?
Okay.
We can't meet. How do you train your children? As a father, you are supposed to validate your children. You know, you are supposed to instill discipline while your wife, takes care of their emotional needs and all that. As a father, you are in US and your children are here. How do you validate those children? How do you talk to them? How do you discipline them? It's not telephone discipline. It's not go and sit down. There are things that some children are stubborn. You must be there present to be able to, to help them. So those are things that you must consider. Then for me, somebody like me now, age. There are things I shouldn't be doing at my age. I can't travel out and begin to look for 7 jobs. Because those facilities that we talk about, they are there. You must pay for them. You make money there, but half of the money or more than half of the money you make, you spend on bills, paying bills. Do you understand? The truth is that those people that travel and go there, some of them don't tell us the story that they go through. So as somebody who is above 50, how do you go there? How do you start all over?
Okay.
Do you go and take up security job?
Okay.
You have 2 degrees, or you have 2 or 3 degrees. Maybe you were at a manager level, earning good money. You want to abandon it because you want to japa. Do you think of those things? What emotional emotional demands will this thing have on you? Okay. What is your spouse going to feel like? Okay. Because when you go and you leave your wife, you're also exposing her to danger.
Yeah, a lot of
the danger of predators, men, other men might take advantage. And you that are leaving your wife and you're going there, you also have that problem there. You might go there and begin to get involved with other women.
Yeah. That's in a situation where the wife says, I'm not coming, and the husband insists on going alone. You know what you're painting.
It happens, sorry to interrupt, it happens either way, because what I've seen now is that many of the men say, you know what, I will stay here in Nigeria and continue making my money. They send their wives and children abroad, and then they're here. And this, I like, because you've literally just jumped into our next question, because the wives are there with the children. I've always find that, and I'm speaking from a couple of people that I know that I've spoken with, when they go into that environment, I think it's just a female thing. It's just the security, there's light and everything, and then of course that environment favors the female more than the male. They're settled in that place, and then after a while, many times, even when there's this huge paying job that can make you comfortable, they find it very reluctant to want to come back home. And that's why you hear some things like, man has a wife in America, the one has a wife here in Nigeria
too. So that's one of the disadvantages.
That's one of the. I was talking with a friend yesterday. In fact, the friend saw this and we are just talking about the exact thing. This is my situation.
Wow.
I now called her.
Wow.
And we started talking. She wanted to go, and the guy says, No. Front, back. And at the end of it, they had to stay.
Okay.
They are still here. They've not moved. Maybe they are still not seeing the idea of moving, but they've not moved because one of them says no.
No. Oh, good.
And the husband saying no, we can't go.
Okay.
So she had to mellow down because the husband had said it. But I also have another case. This guy was doing well in Nigeria. Got a good, doing well on his own. They built their own house. They have cars and all that. And the wife was hell-bent on living.
Why?
They did everything possible. The wahala was too much. The man succumbed. They traveled. They sold their house. They sold their cars.
Yeah, because they have to.
They took everything, hoping to get there, start a new life.
And it wasn't what they thought.
By the time they got there, the job that they thought was on the street had not come. They had to get a house, and they started eating their money.
All their money.
And in fact, the money finished.
Okay.
The job had not come. And so the man said, if I continue like this, I think I have to come back to Nigeria. We are here now. This thing is not working for us. Can we Your woman said, lie. Hey, me. Me.
I'm not
I
going
won't go back to poverty.
And,
But she was living in a
and
good life.
it's not rosier out there, but
It's not rosier.
maybe the environment.
I like the fact.
Sorry, at the end of it,
Yeah.
the guy came back.
And the wife is there with the
He
children.
decided to take the shame
Yeah.
of starting all over again.
Yes.
The woman refused, and the woman remained there.
Okay.
So is she working with the children? Is she with the children?
must be
He
fine.
said she would look for whatever.
Yes.
But to come back,
Okay.
said there no caution.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
because
that's-
the
time
director
is
said,
almost-
time is up. But I like the
we-
fact also
we-
that you are a pastor, a
Yes.
spiritual leader of some sort. Because I
Mm,
always feel like many times people, the reality of it, many people don't like to face it and just, say, like Randy said, even with the single people, and I'm not
Yeah.
even trying, because I have friends who have relocated that are doing well, and I have some who have relocated that are not doing so well, because, you have to look at the skills you're going to acquire. And like something that you've really pointed out that I like that you talked about was how fathers give disciplines, mothers nurture. We don't think and talk about the children.
Our culture, our tradition.
When we relocate, it's not even just about the culture, which is essential, especially now
essential.
that all sorts of things are happening all over the world. We don't always, think
Consider that.
We don't always. And most of the time, people always say, "I'm doing it for the children." What about the children? And this.
And you really haven't brought the children down. You have not had a conversation with them. Really, yes, in the real sense of. You see, if you drive past Ikoyi, the registry, 7 days a week, every day, young people are getting married, and 60% of those are doing it so they can japa. So this subject is something that is so wide, and we could keep talking about it until tomorrow, but we need to stop at this point.
Yeah, but I would like to just give
back.
yes, we'll have to have him
Yes.
back, definitely. But just give like should I say, word of encouragement, advice to couples who are tugging at each other right now,
Yes.
and they don't know how to.
Well, mine is one, let them prayerfully take their decisions. There are people that usually pray before they take decisions. Let them pray and let God guide them and lead them. Even if one person has to go first, they have to sit down, talk about it, plan it, and make sure that God is leading them. And then give yourself timelines. If I'm going there within this period, either my family will come, or if I go and things are not working, I have to come back. If you really have your family, in your mind. What my own is, let them sit down and take the decisions together.
Okay.
Let it not be out of rush, or one person out of selfishness, or out of you want to be like other friends. If you take decisions like that, it will not work. It might work for one person, but it doesn't work for everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Very refreshing.
Yeah, really refreshing conversation. Thank you so much. We'd like to have you again. Well done with the fantastic work you're doing. Good job. So we'll take another break, and this time around we'll be talking about what it is, how do we investment cultures for everyone, for families, and in this tight situation where Nigeria has become or should I say not so tight situation. Thank you so much again, Mr. Clement.
You said earlier, Nigerians must survive. That's it. So from my own part, I say thank you so much for short notice making our time to be here with us today. The program is still today with John and Helen live, and it's on PlusTvAfrica. It's time to take another break, like she said. And as we return from this break, that will be a very quick one. We'll open the doors to financial freedom and opportunities with our next guest, and he's Dr. Ekene Matthew Ndubude. He's MD CEO Zebulon Homes. Join us in a bit.
You haven't told me what Japa is.
Let's see. Japa is a goal, and I don't do that for you. Wait, it's an altar. So, Japa is a word that describes the entrepreneurial spirit. Japa is a word that describes the entrepreneurial spirit of Nigerians. And in that same word, it means Nigerians with all our content,